hopefully. So yep, so this is the first 5th edition campaign I'll be running, and we are going to jump straight in here. This is the world that our players will be exploring, the world of Eulasia. Oops, and I've just backed out of the game. That was clever. Great start here. Fantastic start. And now that my camera doesn't even come up.
Yeah.
What was the name of the whole world, did you say?
Eulasia.
Can you spell that?
Ulatia. There we go, I'm back. So our players have been asked to write some backstories, and they have been thus rewarded for doing so. And they have all wound up in this lovely fortress town of Itrelia Keep. So we're going to very quickly run through, and if you guys could give a sort of bullet point presentation almost of your backstories, and then we'll get straight into the game.
Cool. I'm just gonna tab to that. Who wants to go first?
Whoever
Please,
wants...
not me.
Go on,
Okay, I'll go first.
Go on then.
Alright, so Gemma is a human druid. She grew up in the Raigrad, which is in the northwest side of the map, way north, in the mountains, in like a nomadic tribe. Thank you for picking it. So it's like a nomadic tribe of druids, fighters, barbarians, rangers, and they like protect nature and all of that. Very isolationist, and she really enjoyed that and had a great childhood, and then things kind of went to shit in her teenage years and has been exiled from her tribe, but she really wants to get back, so she has kind of deluded herself into thinking that if she gains glory for her tribe and becomes a powerful enough druid and shows that she's like, very powerful and can help the tribe, that they'll welcome her back in.
Perfect. Next we'll go to Beldar.
Hello, I'm Beldar Kulkel. I am a Dragonborn. I was born in the village of Veritas. At the age of 3, I started showing potential with magic. Obviously, in this area, they weren't too keen on magic, so I didn't have very many friends. I had one close friend, but after a while, had to leave. Well, I had to leave because I wanted to learn more, and there was a wizard named Grey Ronin who came to the village and took me to train me in the arts. Took me to the city of Kincardine, where I spent 10 years learning how to control my gift, and I met a couple people there. Met a friend called Quinna, who I got very close to. In the end, though, on the last night I was there, I saw a flash of light from the office or the room of Grey Ronin, Tortablos. I saw a flash of light and arguing, so I ran to check what was going on, what happened. All I could see when I entered the room was Grey Ronin slumped against the wall. He didn't say anything apart from to go to a desk and press a button, which released a hidden compartment, which contained a book he cannot read. And said that when the time came, I left without saying a word to anyone to keep them safe, and I've been travelling for 2 years to try and find answers, but haven't been successful yet.
Okie dokie, and finally Trilobite.
Hi, I'm Trilobite. I'm gonna... Ella, who is a human woman in her 40s, 50s. I think the note
Hold on.
52 on the character.
People are breaking up. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So she's a human woman, and she used to be a paladin. She was a paladin. Is somewhat more regulated in this world than it is in perhaps other settings. She travelled around. They picked up some sort of attitudes as they went around the kingdom. They're very good at killing mages, but unfortunately, with this kind of sort of thing, and they fell. They were no longer granted powers by their deity, Lathander, the god of light and renewal and rebirth and all that sort of stuff. They kind of just got... They were already kind of in a bit deep, saw this as a test of faith, but eventually got to the point where they wanted to make a pact with a demon for more power, because, like, think of all the good we could do with all this power, and travelled around for about 20 years doing odd jobs as time went by, didn't trust herself to do any mercenary work after what transpired. It's back to King Cardine, which is about where the major temple of Lathander is. Her order starts kicking off again, and she's brought in just... We understand that you were involved in this order, we'll kind of like forgive you, and if you just give us some details, what details you have, and also, do you want to renew your pact? That's always an option. I don't want... Go on, like, you worship the god of renewal and rebirth and second chances, and so just after giving what information she can, morning comes where she's supposed to make her pact again, and she has a bit of a breakdown. Starts talking to her, like addressing a deity, saying, look, I'm a good person, I don't think I'm ready to be a paladin. Gets... Something happens. Not a paladin, she's a celestial warlock. Just because even the gods have a sense of humour. Got these powers. She's now learned this skill set that who's in her 50s. And yeah, I think that's about covers it.
Yep.
Was there anything else I missed out?
No, that was perfect. I just need to... Why is that set to low? I want that on the high. Right. Hopefully there'll be less breaking up now.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, one way or another, our heroes have found their way up to Etrelia Keep. And we'll go in, have a look at the town. So we will start with the arrival of... Hey, Danny. We will start with the arrival of Gemma into the city.
Alright.
The air is very crisp. It's sort of the summer sun rising in the east. And the highland fort of Etrelia, fairly cold, mostly barren, void of much green life. And as you approach the city, you can hear sort of the music of the street performers, you can hear people setting up for the markets, and the first thing you'll notice is the heavily armed guards at the gate. And you may move your tokens as you see fit.
Oh, hold on, let me just zoom in a little bit here.
We got music!
Alright, so, where is that music coming from?
It's
Roll
coming-
20,
yeah.
I believe.
It's just some background music.
Cool. Sweet. Alright. Okay, so she is going to approach the gate and kind of like nods to the guards to see if they're going to stop her or let her go in.
They stop you and they say, yes, milady.
Sorry, you cut out?
They stop you and they say, yes, milady, how can we help?
From the Ragrad Vakatabe, protectors of the mountains in the north. I'm here to find an adventurer. Whom may I talk to in the city?
There are many people in the city. What information specifically is it that you require?
I'm looking for a band to travel and protect the land.
Then your best bet would be to look in the local tavern. I'm sure Brown here has some foreign guests that we saw yesterday, I believe, as he turns to his companion.
All right, thank you kindly.
And he sort of nods and sort of points you into the town. And as you come into the town, as I say, you notice the markets are setting up. You've got people trying to sell wares. There's a couple of dodgy characters hanging about in dark corners. And you notice there is one very distressed...
Emma probably like spreads up her nose because she hates being in city.
There is one very stressed and elderly-looking dwarf in the middle of the market who seems to be pleading with some guards.
Okay. Watch them to see what's happening.
Make me a perception check. See if you can hear what's going on. Yep, you can hear him saying, "Please, I need to find my precious golden plaque. It has been stolen." And the guards are sort of just brushing him off. "Get away, you scrub. Go back to the hole you crawled out of."
The guards like walk away, or is he still with them?
The guards walk away.
Okay, so I approached the guy.
Yep.
Excuse me.
He says, "Yes."
Sir, is there something that I can help you with?
I don't know if you can help me, but something of mine very precious has been stolen.
When was it stolen?
I woke up this morning and it was gone. It's really...
What is this object of value?
It's... You won't believe me anyway.
Why should I have a reason to doubt you?
He sort of looks at you in the corner of his eye and he says, "It's a golden egg." It was my trophy of my last great hunt.
Where did you get such a trophy? What were you hunting?
From the nest of a dragon.
What? I'm sorry, I think you cut out again.
He says, "From the nest of a dragon."
Haven't...
Sorry?
Something like that?
You're really breaking up on me there. Hold on. See if I can't.
Trying to remember what you said.
So he's told you that he's had a golden dragon egg go missing.
I see.
He says, "Do you think you can help me?"
me there.
Do you think you can help me, lady?
I can certainly try. Do you know who could have stolen it, or who did steal it?
Says, oh, there are a number of people that have been after this for many years. And he sort of, he starts to walk. He says, when you're ready, come and find me at my place. I'm in the north of the city. And
What was your name, good sir?
My name is Master Ogden. And you are?
I am Gemma of the Raigrad Vaktare.
Very well, Gemma. And he wanders off. We clip over to the tavern, where a very, very hungover lady is sat in the bar.
What time of the day is it, by the way?
It's mid-morning.
Okay. Yeah, so presumably they've stayed overnight, have just woken up, and heading to the bar for, like, breakfast. It's like, still acceptable for breakfast, right?
And round here, this really young, enthusiastic ginger dwarf with a beard trailing down to his feet sort of comes rushing over to you. Oh, of course, milady, anything for a follower of Lathander.
That voice. Can you just, like, tone it down
Oh,
a little
no.
bit?
A bartender's prerogative is to be joyful and keep people entertained throughout the years.
You just see her eyes switching. Look, just... what breakfast you got?
Oh, we've got lots of breakfast here. You can have cow, you can have horse. What would the lady desire?
Just like some horse sausages or something.
Oh, perfect.
Toast. Big mug of tea.
And he sort of gives a little hop and a skip and a little scurry to the kitchen.
Are you, like, even old enough to serve drinks? I'm not sure what the culture around here is like.
He says, my lady, I am 83 years old.
Like, how much is that in human years?
He would say, well, I'd have to say about 25.
You gotta pass. Come on.
And as this little dwarf disappears off, down the stairs of the tavern comes a fairly tired dragonborn from his ventures. Beldar, when you come down, you see this very, very hungover and stressed out looking lady.
Okay. I sort of ignore that. It seems normal. I've seen people like this before, so I just head to the bar and try and get my own breakfast, and inquire if he knows anyone that would be able to help me with a certain issue I've got.
And the same little ginger dwarf man comes over to you and says, and what would that be, sir?
I've just how would I do this? I'd ask him if he has any idea of any wizards in the area.
He sort of looks a bit edgy. He says, well, the only person permitted to use magic inside these walls would be Ildrek, but I wouldn't recommend visiting him anytime soon. And he looks really fidgety.
Why not?
How are you with warlocks?
I haven't met any. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, to be honest with this.
I'm kind of, at this point, I'm looking over. How long till I get my tea?
He says, it's coming, it's coming. No, be patient.
Okay. What? Remind me what the local rules about magic here.
Well, let's just say I wouldn't use it in the eyes of the guards.
Okay. Hey, Dragonborn kid. You're asking about magic and stuff.
Yes.
I might be able to help, but I'm kind of new at it.
Okay, I shyly walk over, cautious, and sit down.
What is it you need?
Well, I need to sort of get to know you first before I can ask. Before I can show you. I know this sounds a bit odd, but I need to. We need to have trust before I can show you, because I don't know of what's completely going on. I was just told to leave my Kincardine and search for information about certain thing, which I can't really give out at the moment.
So that's classified, and you don't trust a random stranger with it.
Exactly.
Well, I was up here looking for work. That's also complicated, and how long have you been here?
I've only been here about a day.
Yeah, about the same. Came up from Kincardine?
Yep.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
You two both feel kind of awkward at this point.
Yes.
Realising that you both come from the same sort of area and you're a bit opposite to one another. As you do, a very curious... Gemma's human, isn't she? Just want to clarify.
Stella is as well.
Yeah. A very weary but curious looking human comes in through the doors. And she looks nothing like townsfolk.
Okay, so I probably wandered over because the guards told me to go to the tavern. Kind of enter, and I like look around to see who is all in like the common room.
And you see a dragonborn and a human lady talking as a tiny little ginger elf comes rushing over to you, really enthusiastic. Ah, hello! Another guest! How wonderful! What would you like to
Make him
drink?
stop!
I would probably take a couple steps back because she's not used to being assaulted like that.
There's no need to be worried, my dear. And he sort of puts his hand around her back and sort of ushers her into a chair.
Yeah. Finally, that as soon as he puts his hand on her, she like grabs his arm and like pushes him away.
Oh no, that's not very friendly, is it?
I'm sorry,
Dude!
I'm
Dude.
not used to.
Don't, dude, you're freaking her out. Just, no. Tone it down. You'll get a lot more customers that way. I'm starting to realize why this place is so cheap and so quiet. And while everyone here seems to be from out of town, it's all coming together.
So are they the only two in this common room?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
My theory is right.
So I'm gonna go over to them and be like, hello, I am Gemma of the Raigrad Vaktare, protectors of the mountains in the north. Are you adventurous?
Gesundheit and kinda.
I very cautiously say yes.
Excellent. I came into town to find an adventuring party, and I already have a mission.
Cool. I came up here looking for work. I guess you probably look like you are not used to cities, and yeah. My name's Estella. I come from King Cardine, like this guy. Obviously, various different social circles.
I'm Zelda.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I met, was Master Orden a dwarf? Is that what you said?
Yeah. He's like a
Okay.
really elderly dwarf.
Okay. So I would tell them, I met a dwarf in the town market when I was entering, and he was saying that he had an item of great value stolen, and he would like help recovering it.
Did he say what it was?
He said it was a dragon egg.
Okay. I will come with you.
Yeah. I should probably go with you. You just seem very, like... trying to think of a nice way of saying naive, but... You look like you need looking after, and we don't like creepy dwarfs like that guy. Creepy, very shrill dwarfs.
You just see this really young dwarf with a massive grin across his face just waving at you all from behind his bar.
Can I flip him off?
If you so wish.
Yeah. I'm gonna get breakfast first. Very long journey up here. I just want my
I do not have
tea.
time to waste. Hurry.
But my tea. You
The breakfast comes
seem to
out.
underestimate.
The breakfast
Okay.
comes out just as you start saying about leaving.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
she's
like
very
already-
irritated, but still all the time.
I like slide some toast over. It'll shut her up.
She slides it back and says, I ate outside of town.
What did you eat?
I'm perfectly capable of finding my own food.
Down and see if I can discern whether she is actually capable.
Make an.
Like,
Would it be
And
inside?
whilst this is going on, I nick the toast.
Make a stealth check.
My perception versus that.
or
Or is it my passive perception?
Yeah, it'll be your passive perception versus his stealth. Whatever he rolls
So
for
that's-
stealth.
11.
And what's your passive perception?
Yeah, my passive perception's 11.
Okay, yeah, you managed to take the bread without being noticed.
I would just let him take it anyway at this point. Yeah.
Just trying to think.
cite me?
Oh,
What- what I
yes. I will have a look at you.
Yeah, you sort of get the idea that she's more than capable of looking out for herself on the outside.
Yeah. Looking after herself.
On the outside.
still-
Not inside
Yeah.
towns, but outside in the wilds.
Yeah. So... I kind of down my tea, like, try and, like, finish the breakfast like hastily and just, like, start to feel the hangover fading a little bit with, a bit of, like, solid food down.
Yeah.
The tea's mostly important to that.
So
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah,
eventually
and at
you
this point I
guys.
say thanks for the toast.
He says, "Oh, no problem. You're welcome." And as you sort of
Yeah.
leave,
Yeah, can we find a better tavern? I think we should find a better tavern. Next mission!
Second, better tavern.
so you make your way up to Master Ogden's house, and as you guys approach, I'll drag you there if you like.
Yeah, do that.
A little bit laggy. That's no problem. Just right
Gemma
there.
just runs off ahead.
Yep. We're all having a lot of fun with
So when you approach
But,
this
yes, we'd
house,
all-
the first thing that you get from this house is how big it is. The sheer size of it, you think this guy has money. You know, there's no way that this guy is poor by any means. And so you approach the house.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're in a town. We've, like... to be here.
Yeah, Gemma feels like she was invited to come here, so she just like doesn't even think twice. Walks to the door, knocks on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And tiny little elderly dwarf answers the door. And he says, "Ah, Gemma, my dear, I see you found some friends. How wonderful for you. Come in, come in.
Friends is a bit strong at this point.
Can I get
I've,
you
like-
anything to drink?
We've only just met.
More tea. I was rushed.
That's
Yes,
absolutely
he would be
fine."
wonderful master.
And he claps his hands, and this tiny little, very posh-looking gnomish dwarf comes, very posh-looking gnome comes running to his side, and he says, "Yes, Master Ogden, how may I help you?" And Ogden turns to him and he says, "Go and fetch tea, please." And you can see sort of saying "please" through gritted teeth. And the gnome disappears off. And he says, come through. So when as you're walking through the house, you see all these sort of different artifacts and sort of paintings and items of fairly high value. And he
Do I
invites you to
recognise
sit.
any of them? Like, from folklore? Like,
Make
stories?
me be a religion check.
okay, I'll do that.
That's what it
Religion
would be.
check?
Well, you make a religion check. Yeah, let's do it that way. That's fine.
Cool.
Yep, there's a couple of... you recognise a couple of the artefacts from the stories of Lathander. And his various meetings with Bahamut and things like this.
Yeah. Are these artifacts there, like, because he's an adventurer, or are
They're things he's...
acquired in inverted commas?
They're things he has collected from his own adventures.
Okay. So they are, like, his.
Yeah.
It's not like there's, like, this artifact that probably belongs to my church that he's just taken from somewhere.
Yeah, no.
Context. So, yeah. So he's probably a former adventurer by my reckoning.
Gemma's gonna look around things because she's super curious about everything, and is looking for things. Well, she's actually looking for things that could be useful, like practical. But if there's anything like really, like to the point of like completely not practical, she would get really distracted by that.
Okay, so there's like old scriptures and writings. They're sort of his most prized possessions, next to things like his dragon claws, dragon fangs, and things like this that you can see dotted around the house. You can see he was a real collector and really believed in what he used to do. And he comes through. The gnome is carrying like a little silver tray of tea. And he passes it over to you and says, "There you go, help yourself." And you just...
What does he pass over? Sorry, you kind of cut out a little bit.
He passes you over your cups of tea. And you just see Organ say, "Right, get out of here now, you little irritating git." And he gives him a backhand around the back of the head.
That's not very nice.
That was not necessary, my good man.
Oh, trust me, it was. This little blighter owes me a great debt. And he points
Doesn't
to
he slap him off upside the head?
He points to a vase that appears to be very badly put back together again.
Hmm.
Can I walk over to it? Can I look at
You can look at
something
it.
that I would be able to fix with mending?
You look at it, and he says, "Don't you dare touch that."
Okay, she would probably back away, but she would fix it. I have some experience with broken artifacts.
He goes, "Shh! You'll lose me a servant if you do that. I find it very difficult to get around you."
I also don't think he's that great an employer from what I've seen of it, so maybe not.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. So let me just check. Yeah, I have to touch it. Okay. But do I think that it's something I could fix with mending?
You're not entirely sure.
He's not going to do it while he's watching. She's used to people yelling at her not to touch things, and so she generally, takes a step back.
So, he sort of sits down and he says, "Now, the real reason why you're here," and he points over to this, you just see like a silver plate with a black iron holder that's empty.
Was this what used to hold the thing that you said was stolen?
Yes, it was a crest of the dragon hunters. I used to run a local organisation, you see, to collect parts of the dragons that were most valuable.
Okay. What is it that you want us to do exactly?
Well, I needed to
Much
retrieve.
information.
Somebody has stolen this from me, and there are a number of people who this could have been.
Like, for instance, you kind of would know a bit more about who locally. Do you have any local enemies? Do you know anyone who also likes shiny things, or yeah, what kind of new in town? So you're gonna have to fill in a bit of context there.
So he turns around to you, and he says, "Well, take a little seat, because there's a number of people that it could have been." He says,
Okay.
Starting, it could have been Vordarim Dawson. He's the high priest of the Bahamut Cathedral. He says, now he has wanted this to offer it as to Bahamut as a favour, but that's a terrible waste. I mean, Bahamut's practically useless now. There's no more dragons in the world. And he says, Ildrick...
Well,
he says...
it's their religion, man, so...
And
pretty sure it's...
Sorry, go on.
Pretty sure it's, important to them.
And he carries on, and he says, Ildrick the High Warlock of this city. He's a really suspicious character. He's got great magical interests in the properties of that egg. He's also the advisor to the captain of the guard in the city to identify magical items that might be smuggled in.
Okay, so he's like the customs guy?
Yeah, basically, he inspects magical items if they're found to find out if they're malevolent or benign.
Yeah.
And he carries on, and he says, It could have been Doten, but I doubt it. I mean, we were best friends back in the day. He's a former associate of mine, and he seems to think that he has a claim to the crest.
Sorry, you cut out.
He says he's telling you about Doten, who's a former associate of his. and that his associate seems to think that he has a claim to this egg.
Get it?
He carries on, and he goes, now, Annabellis, she's the local town alchemist. Now, she has obvious needs of strange ingredients. And this is a very hard to come by item, so I wouldn't put it past her, not the least.
She was local. What, sorry, you cut out?
The local alchemist.
Okay.
And finally... No, I don't think he would have... If he wanted it, he would have just seized it.
It's always the people you don't expect.
Well... Now, it could have been the king of Etrila. But... As I say, if he wanted it, why didn't he just seize it for himself? I mean, there's nothing to stop an old dwarf.
Maybe he wanted to do it covertly.
He's offered me money for it many times. Money that would have made most heads spin.
Still cheaper? I wouldn't rule him out. Just give us as many as you think. Even if it's remote. We gotta check them all out.
And he says, well, that's the people that I seen. That's the list of people that I can think of that have
Okay.
done this.
What was the name of the High Priest of the Bahamut Cathedral again?
Folderin, I think.
Vorderim. Vorderim Dalzun. I'll put it in chat for
Yeah.
you.
Keep slapping? What's his name?
I've put it in chat.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Alright, is there anybody else you can think of?
The servant he keeps slapping.
Yeah, what's...
Hmm?
The guy you kept hitting.
Oh no, he's a pickle, but he's not stupid.
You underestimate how stupid people... I kind of want to check this guy out.
May we speak to your servant?
Yes, yes. And he sort of claps his hands, and this little tiny gnome comes running back in.
Okay. So, I take it your boss doesn't like you very much. He's had something go missing. You wouldn't have to know anything about that, would you?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. Open the sheet. I am not smart. I am not great at investigation. Let's see.
He's there's nothing to say that he's done it, and he sort of just goes, "It certainly wasn't me. Now, if you don't mind, I've got cleaning to do." As he sort of
But
looks at
that's-
his master and sort of starts turning to walk away.
What's your name?
My name's Varosh.
We didn't ask you if you'd done it. We don't know anything about it.
Yeah, that's a bit sketchy. We just ask you for any information, immediate denial. So, yeah. Following up, not knowing much about the
He says,
offers her own idea.
he turns and says, "I honestly know nothing of the sort."
Were you here when it was stolen? Because he said it was during the night. Do you stay here?
Yes, I'm a servant. He says, I'm a servant, I'm well paid, I'm meant to stay here at night.
Is there anybody
Yeah,
else who
but-
has access to the house?
Well, it's not exactly in a secluded place.
Were there any signs of entry?
And he looks around and he says, not that I can tell.
Do you lock your doors?
Well, of course, in this day and age, you don't know what weirdos are hanging around. And he sort of looks at the human lady.
Which one?
He looks at Estella.
If you're not going to cooperate, I can just beat it out of you. Although, to be fair, double standards! Look, this guy probably doesn't matter if you get beaten up that much.
Are you talking to the gnome or the dwarf?
The servant. But-
He sort of says, look, honestly, I have nothing to do with it. Make an insight check.
Help us help you by proving it. Insight. Let me just... Oop.
Can I insight as well? Or do I not need to?
You don't need to. He seems totally legit. There's some there's something going on there, but it's not relating to what you're investigating.
Yeah.
Can I ask Master Ogden, where was...
You've cut out, Gemma.
Sorry.
She asked where the egg was being kept when it was stolen.
The egg is always kept up on the shelf. It's the crest of the dragon hunters. It's my most prized possession.
Okay, can I look at the shelf and, like, look at what else is on it to see if anything else was disturbed or if there was, like, any, clues left?
There's no, there's nothing else on the shelf apart from the silver plate with the iron stand. But make me a perception check.
You see all! You echolocated this room.
You do notice that there is something on the floor by the mantelpiece where it's sat, and it's like a very small steel iron object. You may not know what it is as you don't live in towns, but it looks suspicious.
Okay, I would show it. I would show it to Estella and Velda.
Okay.
Do you know what this is?
No. Maybe we should talk to Master Ogden, see if he knows anything about it.
What does it look like?
It looks like half of a lockpick set.
Yeah.
Sorry, say it again. It looks like what?
Half of a lockpick set.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
So, probably someone managed to gain entry illegitimately, but they were, like, sneaky enough to do it without being detected. Because my next line of questioning was going to be who has access to the house, but I guess it's someone who didn't necessarily need... So it's probably still worth asking. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Master Ogden who has access to the house besides himself and the little gnome guy.
He says, we live here alone. There's no one else here. And certainly no one else with easy access to the property. I make sure of that.
Have you had any guests besides us in the past couple of days?
No, no one of note. I mean, the usual riffraff that come knocking at my door, trying to get me to attend community events, but that's really not my thing.
Oh, so it's no one actually inside, just door-to-door sales.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we found. I show him half the lockpick set. We found this something.
Hmm.
Are there any local thieves guilds or
He says, well, there hasn't been a thieves guild here for a very, very long time. However, judging by...
either that or there's been a very successful thieves guild?
He says, judging by the make and material of this pick, it might be worth going to, and I've lost... There's the sheet.
Blacksmiths?
Yep, there's someone phrase it. It might be worth you going and having a word with... I've lost my notes on this person. It's always hands off. Oh, here it is. It might be worth you going to have a word with Dante. He's a work colleague of mine, but he specializes in brass.
Okay.
Where would
And
we
where-
find Dante?
You'll find him working... You'll find him just shortly west of here. He lives on the end of the road.
Okay.
And he sort of directs you to that building over there. If you can see it, I'll drag you there. There you go.
We head over there, presumably. Anything else you want to do before we leave?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I'd like, on a different note to this, I'd like to knows about dragons.
What'd you say to him, sorry?
I would like to. I would like to know what he knows about dragons before we leave.
And he sort of, when you ask the question, he sort of, his eyes sharpen and he says, what in particular is it that you're interested in?
Well, any information that you know, really, that could prove useful.
I sense if you here quite well, and if we do that, it's gonna involve more tea. So
I tell you what, my boy. And he sort of stands up and hobbles over to a little bookcase. And he goes, now where did I put it? And he sort of shuffles around in his shelves and he says, ah. And he takes down this tiny little A6 sized journal and he hands it to you. He says, these are the tales of my adventures and hunts. Maybe it'll come in use to you, maybe it won't.
Okay. Am I allowed to take it? You cut off.
Yeah, he's giving you the book.
Thank you very much. I'll look through this after your problem out. Thank you.
and I'm gonna kinda look at Gemma and just like, was there like a reward for this?
Did you say that, or did you just look at her thinking that she would know what you meant?
Subtly try and whisper to Gemma, was there like a reward for this? Did you negotiate? Or
She would probably say, "What do you mean?"
You're new to cities, aren't you?
I've
Gemma,
been in some.
look, you understand what money is, right?
Of course.
And like you exchange it for goods and services and stuff.
Yes, of course. I've tried trading trips. Well, a few trading trips to the local dwarves and human villages in the mountains.
Okay, so when you go adventuring and stuff, it's and stuff like you see, like this guy's like got all these magic items and things, and those cost money. So it helps if you negotiate a reward before you know. And did you do this?
No, of course not.
Are we doing this whilst we're walking over?
Yes.
Or are we...
At this point, yeah, I guess.
So you guys
Okay.
rock up, and the door's wide open, as you can see a similarly elderly blacksmith dwarf at the anvil, but this one's got a scar running all the way down one side of his face, as it's slightly distorted.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hello,
Hey,
are you done?
Sorry, my dear.
Are you Dante?
Who's asking?
I am
And you are? And he sort of raises an eyebrow.
Estella. Although to provide context, we were recommended here by a work colleague of yours who... GM, what's the name?
Master Organ.
Master Organ. Business, and presumably you're a blacksmith, so you might know something about this, and I show him the half lockpick set.
He sort of looks at it and he says, I know nothing of this.
Well, presumably you know a little about this because you are a blacksmith. Otherwise you'd be a pretty rubbish blacksmith.
He says, I specialize in brass, it is true, but I do not know anything about this lockpick.
Can I insight check him?
Yep. Yeah, he seems legit.
Seems kind of mean.
Okay, it's just that Master Ogden said that you might have an idea
Well, I'm getting
to help him
robots.
locate a stolen item.
Well,
What is he accusing someone of stealing this time?
A golden dragon egg?
You mean the crest is gone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
is he actually surprised?
Yeah, he seems really shocked that it's gone missing.
I'm not sure what kind of clientele you cater for. I can understand selling this kind of stuff might be a bit dodgy and may get you in trouble, but you can trust me, right? That this
My girl, in my years of all travelling, I've never heard something so naive. You don't trust anybody.
yeah? Well, that's your opinion, man. Sorry.
You've actually found somebody more pessimistic than you. Well done.
How old is he, by the way?
He's fairly old. He's around the same age as Master Alden. They both look to be about in their 300s.
We can... Come on, man. We can do this the easy way, or we can do it the fun way.
I'm gonna like look around to see if she sees anything there to pick set.
There's
Go fiddle to your heart's content.
roll an investigation check.
Ooh, not as good at that. Nope.
Yeah, no, there's no telltales here.
That's such a shame.
That's hilarious.
There's lots of brass shiny things hanging up.
Probably poke one of them?
Look,
Make a strength check.
I'm just like kind of doing the
Yeah, you
patter and
sort
stuff and talk.
you poke this giant brass shield hanging up, and it just starts swinging very, very precariously.
I noticed it.
Just stop it as quickly as possible.
Look, the longer we're here, the more obstructive you are, the longer she has to be here. And I kind of look to her pointedly.
She tries to stop it as quickly as possible, and then she like takes a couple steps back, and then she pulls out, and then she pulls.
He sort of looks and he goes, "That's alright, a girl can look. I have no problem with that." And he says, "Now you're talking about doing this the easy way or the hard way." And
I said the easy way or the fun way.
he sort of pulls out from behind him two sort of very small crossbows, and he says, "What do you think it would take for me to put one of these through your eye?"
Whoa,
Sorry, what did he pull out again?
He's got like two small hand crossbows.
Ugh.
No need for hostilities here.
I'm not
The only
being
thing-
hostile. She was the
I know
one
you're
that's-
not. Well, you are sort of. You did just.
He
threaten.
sort of goes. He turns to you and he goes.
Anyway,
He turns to you and he goes.
we have only come for information.
Then information you shall have. But she's the one that suggested doing this the fun way.
Okay. I think at this point, this guy has actually been pretty nice to her. So Gemma's gonna kind of step. Sorry about that. Something weird happened on my computer. She would say, "Hello, I am Gemma from the Raigrad Vaktare. Master Ogden sent us here. Is there anything that you can tell us that would be helpful?"
And he turns to you and he says, "Well, Master Ogden hasn't exactly made friends in this city since he's settled here about 50 years ago."
Sorry, can
Sorry.
you say that again? You cut out in the middle.
Yes. Yeah.
He says,